In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Tracy McGrady and how he shoots the basketball. T-Mac was one of the greatest shooters of all time, and his shot is actually quite interesting. So let's get down and let's check out Tracy McGrady. So the one thing that I really want to stress about T-Mac is his ability to really go from the gather all the way up to his set point without doing a dip or anything like that. So as soon as he catches this ball, he steps into his shot, he kicks his foot forward, and then he rises from his gather all the way up into his set point. Now he has a two-motion shot, as we can see here. So when he gathers that ball, he is looking at the rim the whole entire time. When he gathers, he goes into his shot. He also has his shoulders in line with his knees, in line with his toes. This is a very, very important factor. This will allow him to get balanced. He does have a little bit of leg bend as well. The farther out you shoot, the more your leg bend should be because you're going to need to have more upwards power. Something that is quite interesting to myself is any of the close-up footage that I have of T-Mac, he has no space between the floor and his heels, which is quite interesting because he's not engaging his cast as of yet. When he rises up into his set point, what we do see is that there's very little elbow bend, and now when he's up into his set point, he is now up onto his toes. When he goes from gather and puts his other hand, his shooting hand, on the ball, what we also see is he doesn't mess around with the ball. He's not trying to find his spot on the ball. Some players like myself like to put their fingertips right on the actual creases in the basketball, the lines on the basketball, I guess you could call it, while other players don't like to do that, while it doesn't matter for some players either. Can you shoot either way? Well, of course, yes, you can. You can shoot multiple different ways. I just personally like to have my fingers on the line. While T-Mac, it didn't matter where he put his hand. He was able to make that shot no matter what. In a lot of his set shots as well, he would do a quick hesitation going up into his shot, which would then freeze this defender as well. Dirk Nowitzki was a 7-foot player. T-Mac was not 7 feet. And of course, this was a shot over top of Dirk, which was actually quite interestingly good and amazing. So T-Mac's set point was right above his head on the right side. We can also see from this angle that there's also space between his palm and the ball, which allows him to have grip on the ball and a lot more ability to really control where that ball goes by having it sit on the actual fingertips. From there, when he goes up into his shot, we see that his knees actually straighten before he gets off the ground. So not amazing energy transfer, but he's still able to get up into the air over top of really tall players. He also has a soft release with no thumb flick. A soft release is when your hand goes like this and not like this. Basically, with a soft release, it's going to give you more arc on that ball, while with a hard release, there's going to be more backspin. We can also see from this angle here that he has a little bit of a thumb flick right there, right at the end. Will that affect his shot? No, it doesn't. Mainly because he does that thumb flick before he releases that ball. And there's really no reason for it. He already has that ball over top of his arm. His shoulder and elbow are in line with the basketball net. Everything is in line. This is what I call the shooting triangle, where basically that ball is over top of some part of your arm, whether it's your shoulder, upper arm, or elbow, and then your shoulder is in line with your elbow to the rim. This is a very good shot. Now, there's some coaches who will say that you want to have 90-90-90, and you can. However, what we see here is, yes, T-Mac has a 90 on his shoulder, has roughly a 45, a little bit less than 90 anyways, on his elbow, and he has a little bit greater than 90 on his wrist. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is with a 90-degree angle on your wrist, you will get more rotation on this ball when you release it. However, with a less than or greater than 90-degree angle on the wrist, what you're going to have is a quicker release so that players like him will not be able to block your shot. And we can also solidify the fact that this is a soft release from this angle as well. He also keeps his elbow above his forehead, which will give him more arc, and he keeps his follow-through until at least a couple of milliseconds after he releases that ball. The reason why you want to keep your follow through for at least a little bit after you shoot that ball is so that that release from your follow through will not affect that ball. If you pull down on your shot right here, for example, and you find that your shot's always ending up short, well, it's because you're pulling back possibly too early. So this is why I always say to record yourself and to really review your own footage in slow motion. Now here he's going up against Kobe Bryant and he's doing a quick fadeaway. See how he kicks his leg out? That is to get that shoulder and elbow in line with the basketball net, and also to create a little bit of space between him and Kobe, who is a very good defender in the NBA, so that he can get that shot off. Now in this next clip, we can see him releasing this ball, and we're going to track how many rotations this ball has. So right here, that's a half a rotation. That's a whole rotation. He's at 1.5 now, and now he's at 2 full rotations, and about maybe 2 1/4 to 2.5. 2.5 rotations is going to allow you to have a good amount of arc on that ball, and the reason why you want to have arc and rotation, a good enough rotation on that ball, 2.5 rotations, is going to also allow you to, when having that ball coming towards the rim, you're going to be able to have that ball hit the rim, and that backwards rotation will allow that ball to hit that rim softer so that it has a higher chance of possibly bouncing in, like we've seen with that Kawhi Leonard shot off game against the Sixers. I hope that this video helps you be able to shoot the basketball better. If it does, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.